Do you guys want to see how I build my ugly drum smoker? Well, come on, let's have some fun. What is up, YouTube fam? Welcome back to another action-packed episode of The Barbecue Nurse. As always, my name is Kyle. Today, I'm going to be showing you guys how I build my UDS, or my ugly drum smoker. Now, if you're into barbecue as much as I am, you know all about these things. Just about every guy on the competition circuit has one, and you see all these videos on YouTube about all these backyard guys making their own. They're hugely popular, and I can see why. So, when we talk about an ugly drum smoker, there's several names for it. I'm sure you've heard them all. So it's a UDS, or an ugly drum smoker, a vertical drum smoker, what's some of the others, pit barrel cooker, drum cooker, you name it, it's all the same thing, okay? So it's just a barrel standing vertically with a heat source at the bottom, cooking straight up, okay? So how do you go about getting an ugly drum smoker? Well, there's actually several ways. The first way is the easiest way, but it's also can be the most expensive way, and that's just go out and buy one. So there's lots of people out there that build these out of their garages and sell them. I've seen places that build these things custom order to your specifications. There's even smoker companies out there like Oklahoma Joe. They have their own pit barrel cooker. It's all essentially the same thing. Now, when you do it this way, you're going to be spending some money. I've seen them run from anywhere to say $150 all the way up to almost $1,000. Okay, so it all depends on, do you want to put any time and effort into making one, or do you just want to build one? All right. Second way is you can buy a kit. Okay, so this is for those people out there that want to make their own ugly drum smoker, but they don't want to actually build it. So the best way to do it is to get a kit. Now, these kits come with everything you need. It comes with all the hardware, it comes with your gauges, it comes with the piping, it comes with everything you need. The thing about these is you're probably going to have to buy the barrel separate. Now, the good thing about this barrel, though, is it comes with the holes that you need already pre-drilled, so you don't have to drill a thing. All you're going to do is take that kit and put it all together once you get it back to your house, okay? The third way, and this is the way I'm going to do it, is make one yourself from scratch, okay? This can also be the least expensive way to do it, which is what I'm going for. But the cool thing about this is you can make it the way you want it to, and you don't need to know how to weld, and you don't need to know how to fabricate, okay? All you really need to know how to do is operate a drill. I'm sure you guys are all hugely intelligent and you know how to do that. So for this video, I'm going to show you guys how I build it from the ground up. All right, first thing I did, you got to get yourself a barrel, okay? You don't want to really just go and grab any old barrel though. You want to make sure that whatever was used or stored inside that barrel isn't toxic, okay? Or it's not going to be anything detrimental to your health, all right? So the best way you can go about avoiding that is looking for a food grade barrel. Okay, so that's what I did. I actually went on to Craigslist, found a guy that was only, he's about an hour and a half from here, was selling food grade barrels. They had only been used to ship honey one time, and then they've been sitting under a cover ever since. He was selling them for $10 a piece. They have removable lids. I was said, sold, I'll take two. But the thing about the food grade barrels though is some of them have a liner on the inside, okay? But that's okay, you're gonna get rid of that when you move on to step 2. All right, so you got yourself a barrel. You're ready to move on to step 2. So, step 2, burning out your barrel.
Obviously, all we're going to do here is just get a good roaring hot fire in our barrels. This is going to get rid of that liner on the inside and any impurities on the inside. Also going to get rid of the paint on the outside. Also, very important, do not forget to put your lids on the fire as well so you can burn those out too.
Okay guys, so you burned out your barrel. What are you going to do next? Well, if you're like me, not all the paint came off the outside during the burnout. All right, but that's okay. We're going to get rid of that. What we're going to need to do is you're going to need to grab yourself a drill. Along with that, you're going to need a 3-inch wire wheel that's made for drills. And you're also going to need a 3-inch wire cut brush, also made for drills. Aside from these three things, you just need an afternoon of your time, maybe a 12-pack of beer, and you just go to town and get rid of that paint off the outside of the barrel. All right. After that, what I did was I just went ahead and wiped down the outside of the barrel with some mineral spirits. Now you can use acetone, you can use alcohol, it doesn't matter. All I wanted to do was just go ahead and get rid of a lot of that excess paint dust that is now sitting on the outside of the barrel from the grinding process, okay? After that, I took an 80 grit sanding sponge and I just sanded down the inside of the barrel. This just gets rid of the leftover soot from the burn. It gets rid of any crusties that may have burnt onto the inside of the barrel. All you're going to do is sand down the inside nice and smooth. So we got our barrel nice and prepped. She's ready to go. So what are we going to do next? All right. So the next step is we're going to draw out our lines for our holes, and then we're going to drill our holes. Okay. So the way I did it, again, use the drill and then you use what's called a step bit. Okay, I got this one off of Amazon for 10 bucks, and I'll go ahead and leave links for all this stuff for you guys. All right, but this is what I use, and you can use it to drill anything from small to large holes, which is exactly what I needed. Okay, now we're ready to mark our lines. So you're gonna need a couple things. First thing you're gonna need is a tape measure. Okay, you're also going to need a Sharpie marker or anything that's going to make a nice mark for you to be able to see. And then I have a little level here. Also, you're going to need a straight edge to make the line down the sides of the barrels, which I do not have. So what I used in place of that was a broom handle. Okay. All right. So the first thing I did, I'll get this stuff out of the way, was I found the center of the bottom of my barrel here. Okay, after that I just kind of made a nice little crosshair here, and then I just went ahead and made my lines going off in this direction. These are the lines that I'm going to follow, those two and this one. Okay, so those are the three. Now if you can divide things into a perfect third, good for you. I clearly cannot, but that's okay, it's still going to work. Okay, so now you got your guidelines, right? So this one, and then this one. So now you want to make your lines down the side of your barrel following those lines. So just line your straight edge up with that line, use your level to make sure it's level, and then you just draw your line straight down the side of the barrel. Same with over here. Remember, this is going to be our other line that we're going to follow. You line your straight edge up, make sure it's level, and then you follow it down with your Sharpie. Okay? Same with, obviously, the third line. Line your straight edge up with that line, use your level to make sure you're straight, and then Sharpie down. Okay. Now, we're going to go ahead and make our holes. The first three holes that we're going to make are going to be for our intake. Okay, so what you're going to do, you're going to take a tape measure, and on your line, sorry about that guys, on your line, you're going to make a mark about 3 inches down from the bottom here. Okay, so you're going to do that on all three lines. That's going to be where you drill. Now, what size hole do you need to drill? Well, that's going to all depend on what size piping that you're going to be using. Me personally, I'm using 1-inch piping. So that means I need to make a 1 1/4 inch hole so I can put my nipple in here. Okay. Now, if you're using 1/2 inch piping, obviously you're going to want to drill 3/4 inch hole. If you're using 3/4 inch, obviously you're going to want to drill a 1 inch hole. All right. Now, same with this line. You're going to stay on this line and you're going to drill your holes for your rack. Okay. I'm going to show you guys how to do that here in a second. Let me flip this over. Hold on. Okay, guys. All right. So we've got the barrel flipped over. Now, a lot of videos I've seen of guys building a UDS, they drill 3 holes and they usually go about 6 inches down. They drill one here, then one on their other line, and then one on their other line. And that's where they run their bolts through to hold their grate. Well, me personally, I want to have freedom with my grates. I want to be able to move them up and down as far where I need to, or if I want to add more, I want to be able to. So that's why you guys are going to see I have a series of holes here. So there's one there, there's one there, and there's one down there. And I'm going to show you what those are for here in just a second. So remember those 3 holes that I drilled. One there, and one there. So what those are for, right here. This is a piece of cheap 24-inch track shelving. Okay, I wish I could take credit for this idea, but I can't, man. I saw this on another YouTube video and I just thought it was genius. Okay, the cool thing about this is you got your track shelving here. So what you do is once you have that, sorry guys, is you go ahead and get your shelving brackets and then you cut them down. This is about like that. You can cut them a little smaller if you want. That's just what I went with. And the cool thing about this is you can put it there. You can put it down there. You can put it there. It doesn't matter where. You can move this up and down wherever you want to. And that's what I love. I thought this was such a genius idea. I had to incorporate it. Obviously, I know I got to get the paint off of this, but man, I really wanted to show you guys this. I just want to give you a quick glimpse of what it looked like with all 3 tracks in there. This thing is gonna be sweet. So now we're gonna work on our air intake. So to do this, what you're gonna need, you're gonna need 3 threaded nipples. These are 1-inch threaded nipples. These are what they call the close nipples because there's no space here in between. The 2 threads are close to each other. Okay, this is just what I'm choosing to use. You guys can use whatever you want. If you want to use 2-inch, 3-inch, whatever. Use whatever you want. This is what I'm using. Okay, so you're gonna need 3 of these. You're gonna need a 1-inch cap, and then you're gonna need 2 1-inch 90-degree elbows. Okay, now I'm gonna show you where these go. Okay, guys. All right, so we have the initial part of our intake system put in here. So those are the 2 of the 3 1-inch threaded nipples, and then those are the 2 90-degree elbows, 1-inch 90-degree elbows. Okay, so the 3rd nipple is actually on the back, directly in between the 2, and to that, that's where you're going to add your cap. Okay, so now I don't have everything in here threaded super tight. I just wanted to make sure everything fit. What I'm actually gonna do is I'm gonna put some conduit lock nuts on this side, and then obviously on the inside of the nipples here on the inside of the barrel. That way they don't back themselves out every time you turn them, and they just stay right in place. So to the 90-degree elbows down there, I've added 2 1-inch pipe by 24-inch pieces of pipe here for our intake system. Now, as you can see, they're kind of leaning away from the barrel. So what I'm gonna do, and I see this a lot, is we'll move them in and I'm gonna secure them with some U-bolts to the barrel. That way they're nice and straight and they're not going to get caught on anything and rip out of the barrel. So now we got our straight pieces put on for our intake system. It's time to put on how we're going to regulate our airflow. So these are actually 1-inch threaded ball valves. I actually got these. They were a 2-pack for 30 bucks on Amazon. Again, guys, I'll leave links for all this stuff. Okay, so this is how we're going to help regulate the airflow into the barrel during cooking. So you can see, this is wide open, okay? Now, the thing about this hole, remember, we have a 1-inch pipe here, but this hole right here, that's about as wide as it is, okay? So that's why I went with bigger piping, because I just wanted to make sure we're going to be pulling as much air in as we need to keep these coals going, okay? So the way you adjust, obviously, you just turn your valve. Obviously I didn't secure my piping here. You're going to turn it. And you see how you can just kind of close it off there? That's how we're going to regulate. Okay, obviously that's completely closed. And then we're wide open again. Okay, so we got one there, and we got one there. So, during cooking, we need to be able to draw that heat up and over our food so it cooks, right? So, how are we going to do that? Well, this lid actually came with a bung hole. It was actually threaded. So what I did was I went ahead and unscrewed the plug, got it out, and then I got a 2-inch threaded chimney. Okay, I got this on Amazon as well. And again, this is how we're going to help regulate our temperature, which helps, regulate our airflow, which helps regulate our temperature. Now this comes ready to paint, which is one of the cool things about it. And I just love the fact that I didn't have to drill another hole and try and make a chimney for it. I just used the existing bung hole and this thing threads right into it. Beautiful. Love it. So I just wanted to show you real quick a couple more things that I'm going to be adding to this drum smoker, and I'm going to show you guys when I do it. But the first thing here, this here is a handle that I'm going to be mounting right about up here somewhere for the lid, so we can open up the lid during cooking and take a look at our meat. Now this is one of the spring heat-proof handles. Again, got it on Amazon. Sits far enough, high enough away from the lid that you're not going to burn your hand. Very sturdy, and I can't wait to get it on. Secondly, yep, I did it. I got me a lid hinge. That's right, I'm making this bad boy fancy. Now you can see there's 2 ends to it. This is a flat end, and you can see this one's curved. Okay, obviously, curved end is going to go on your barrel. Your flat end is going to go on your hinge. On your lid, I'm sorry. All right, and then that way, I don't have to worry about taking my lid off, setting it down. I can just open that bad boy up and it stays right there. That's right, I'm making this for me, son. All right, third, I'm sorry. You can't forget the temperature gauges. So I got all my holes drilled. You can see I got the holes for the handle, that's for the hinge. Then I added these 2 holes right here, that's for my temperature gauges. But this right here, guys, let this be a lesson to you guys on making sure you take your time to line things up right. Because as you can see, they are not lined up together. And they actually should be a little bit farther apart. But you know what? It's okay. They're gonna work. All right, so I got those. We got our intake. Now I got these 2 1-inch holes here at the top. I got 2 more on the other side. Those are a surprise. I'm going to show you guys what those are for. So these holes here, I kind of went down the UDS rabbit hole and I got some handles for the side. So that's what those are for. And then I actually cut myself an access door on the back, which I really don't see a whole lot of on most UDSs, but that's okay. Mine's gonna have one. And then right here, you got the holes for the other part of the hinge. And then over here, I got 2 more 1-inch holes
I'll show you what those are for, and then again 2 more holes for my handle. So got all that done. What I did after that was I actually just took an 80 grit sanding sponge and just gave the whole thing a once over. Got all that paint dust off of it, everything. And then I wiped the whole thing down with mineral spirits just to clean it off. So this bad boy is ready for paint. So with that being said, over here I got all my stuff that I'm gonna paint. So I got my, back up here, my 24-inch by 1-inch pipes for my intake. I got my chimney. I got my hinge. I took my hinge apart because I'm gonna two-tone it. It's gonna look pretty bad. I got my handles, my 90-degree elbows, my cap. Then I got 3 plugs. And then this right here is what's called a conduit cable connector. And these are what's gonna go in those 4 holes. And I'm gonna show you what those are for later. But right now, it's time to get everything ready to paint. So let's get to it. As you can see, I got everything ready to paint. I go ahead and taped off my threads. I probably didn't need to do that, but what can I say? Old habits die hard. Went ahead and taped off the handles here because I went ahead and was so excited when I got them. I just went ahead and put them together. Didn't even think about painting them. So that's okay. They're going to turn out all right. So here's our colors. We're going to paint the barrel black. And then everything you see up here, with the exception of the chimney will be painted black. Everything else is going to be painted orange, except for this part of the hinge here. That one's going to be black. Like I said, I was going to two-tone that. I'm going to go ahead and take off this access door. I'm going to paint it orange because it's going to look pretty sweet up against the black barrel. So let's get to it. Yeah, buddy. It's all over about the crying. Everything's painted, just waiting for it to dry. There's the barrel. She's looking pretty. There's the hinge and the smoke, the chimney. Yeah, she's gonna look nice. Alright guys, here it is. Everything's painted and dried. Got everything laid out on my workbench here. There's the barrel. As you can see, I'm not an expert spray painter. That's okay. That's why they call it an ugly drum smoker, not a pretty drum smoker. So now all that's left is put this bad boy together. Let's do it. She is, guys. She's all put together. She looks good, I think, anyway. She ain't perfect by any means. She still has a lot of dents. There's a lot of runs in there from the paint. A lot of places where the tarp kind of kicked up on the paint. But you know what? That's why they call it ugly drum smoker. Man, I think she turned out all right. So these plugs here, I'm going to show you guys here real quick. So this one here, and there's 2 on the other side. So what those are for, you take those out. I'm going to run rebar through both sides, and then you can hang meat inside the drum smoker. Pretty cool. So we got the back. The only thing I'm going to do with this door is maybe run some gasket around on the inside, because there's a pretty nice gap around the door from the cutting wheel. So if I put some gasket on there, that'll control the airflow. But there it is. The only thing we have left to do now, build a basket for it and
start to season it.
And there is my fancy charcoal basket. As you can see, I didn't reinvent the wheel here. Just went with everybody else did with 2 pieces of 12 by 24 inch expanded metal. Just put those 2 together with some bolts and some flat washers and some nuts. When you put these 2 together, it'd be helpful to have something round to form them around, but I didn't. The bottom is just a 17-inch grate from a Weber kettle grill. Fits pretty good at the bottom. To secure it all together, just use little U-bolts. I used about 4 of them. Tried to space them out equally. And that's holding the expanded metal to the grate. Now at the bottom there, that is a 17-inch pizza pan that I ran 3-inch bolts up from the bottom, and then just used some nuts and some flat washers and secured the basket up above the pan. This is going to allow airflow up underneath the coals, and it's also going to make cleanup a lot easier with it acting as a catch pan. And then this is just my temporary handle with some welding round. Well, there it is, guys. She's all lit up. I ain't cooking anything on it right now. We're just seasoning it. If you don't know how to season a grill, just click on a link somewhere up here and you can watch my video on how to season a grill. Alright guys, that's it. That's all I got for you. If you like this video, you got anything out of it, remember to hit that like button. While you're at it, go ahead and hit that subscribe button because it's free. And go ahead and ring that bell so you know every time I put out a new video each week, because they are coming at you. Alright guys, that's it. Stay safe. Remember, support your local nurse. Peace.